What up, everybody? Trump gets indicted on some bullshit. Marjorie Taylor Greene goes to New York City to protest, and the mayor of New York City wants to talk smack, and the whole thing's bonkers anyway. Turns out the Chinese weather balloon wasn't a weather balloon. Who could have predicted that? Dylan Mulvaney ruins Bud Light, and guess what? Something I forgot. Let me look at my paper. And James O'Keefe finds some shady contributions to the Democrats from ActBlue with people that had no idea they were even doing it. Stick around. Ladies and gentlemen, the shot heard round the world here. We have Dylan Mulvaney in a new sponsorship from an unlikely group based on who consumes the most of it.
That's a good point, an unlikely group.
Based on who consumes the most of it. Click play on this, Jeff.
Hi. Impressive carrying skills, right? I got some Bud Lights for us. So, I kept hearing about this thing called March Madness, and I thought we were all just having a hectic month, but it turns out it has something to do with sport, and I'm not sure exactly which sport, but either way, it's a cause to celebrate. This month, I celebrated my day 365 of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it. Check out my Instagram story to see how you can enjoy March Madness with Bud Light and maybe win some money too. Love ya!
So,
Bud Light.
NASCAR. Sports, outdoors.
Redneck, cheap beer, America's beer.
Associated with like something really just sports and stuff happening. I don't know, just not getting facial surgery and dancing, and remembered one of Dylan's very viral videos in the forest in a little postage stamp shorts and a postage stamp bralette and in high heels in the forest saying, bugs, love them, trees, love it. And that's supposed to be acting like women. Actually, this commercial right here, to me, is absolutely insulting because what it's saying is, Bud Light is telling us, this is how we see you, women. We see you
right, since
as
he's the woman.
Right, he's supposed to be the woman. Did you notice, too? He said that he's celebrating womanhood in this commercial. What happened to girlhood? But now it's womanhood. I bet because their PR team would be like, listen, we can't do girlhood, but you can say womanhood. He does whatever makes him money. And the thing is that Bud Light is telling us, that's what we think of you, women. Women, you don't even know what sport March Madness is, you silly Sallies. Just like Dylan, that's what they think of fucking you. They think you're fucking stupid. You don't know about sports. You don't know I'm sorry. It pisses me off to
But
no
that's
end.
such a difference,
like a
too.
ditzy little blonde thing from a
well,
cartoon.
like he even says impressive carrying skills. Like these are impressive carrying skills. Like for me, just an old ditzy little dummy.
Little delicate
and then
lady.
I heard something about sports and I don't know what it is. And I thought March Madness was just a shopping spree. I'm such a dumb girl. And it's just like, bro, you know everything about what you just lied about. 100%.
Because you're getting paid.
100%. And there's no way you don't know what March Madness is. So anyway, I look at this and then I contrast it. Number one, he was, portraying a role that women have despised now for about 15, 20 years.
More.
You know, like if you look at old Nike commercials, right? The old Nike commercials or the old Gatorade commercials that were about girls or whatever, it was always like
perseverance,
empowerment,
strength, and get back up.
Get back up. Don't stop.
Down.
You're not
get
weak. You don't
up.
know less than them. Go hard.
Yes.
Become the best. Da 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 da. And now it's whoopsie. I don't even know what anything is. This water?
So
oh my God! It was. I'm an
my
idiot.
God.
And it's just like this is okay. So you're
insulting.
Instituting gender roles and gender binaries
Stereotypes.
with this commercial. Yes, with this. And there's no way that Bud Light wasn't paid to do this. And here's what I mean. Like, I've thought this for a long time. I think a lot of these companies, this is my opinion, I think a lot of these companies are paid by the powers that be to disrupt the community of the people, the culture of the United States of America, to make it weaker or more susceptible to bullshit. And I think the way they've done it is they've been like, okay, fine, we'll go to a more ESG equity scale for like the way the world government's supposed
What
to be
does
run.
ESG stand for?
Environmental social governance. It's like
Okay.
you have a score, you have an
right.
index
I
about how
remember
your
that.
company has done in that.
Yeah.
And part of that is how you treat weird stuff like this. And so I think that it is beyond that, because if you imagine all of the people we just mentioned that are Bud Light fans, how many of them do you think are going to stop drinking Bud Light now? Because it's got to be 5%. 5% of people have to be like, I actually dislike this so much that I'm not going to drink Bud Light anymore. In fact, I'm seeing it all over Twitter.
No,
Ditch Bud Light, because it's a loss financially for them to have done this. Like, what is there? 3% of the population that even might consider themselves to be trans or something? You know what I mean? It's like 1% or something. It's like, so you just traded like, oh, this is a dumb move. You know, I don't know what you guys tried to do here, unless somebody was telling you to do it that got you an interest somewhere else. Maybe they promised you a part of the world once y'all burned down it and then they rebuild it somehow. Maybe you get to be the primary distributor of beer, so for a seat at the future table, once they destroy the world, you get to sit there. I don't know. Anyway, I cut you off like 15 times.
No. It just came to my head. No, you're fine, because it's actually funny, and this is actually serious, because I think you might be right. I'm wondering who is paying them, but I think you do have a good point about the ESG thing, because that's what they have been trying to implement. So now not only do they want citizens to be on good behavior and do the right things, they want companies. And you're right, the companies are, well, let me start kissing butt now. I'm going to show them, give me a high ESG score so you'll keep me around. So Budweiser the slogan is King of Beers. Well, somebody made a thing that said Budweiser, King of Oh my gosh, just hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect though, because
at this point, but yeah, I think
it's just so exhausting, man. Like, all of our ancestors were binary. Everything that every human being,
language is Spanish.
Yeah,
French.
Spanish is literally masculine, feminine.
Yeah,
you know.
I don't know.
It built the world, and now we're acting like it doesn't even matter.
Do they not like money? That's my question. Do they not like money? Because
sure seems like it.
But the thing is I do have a little bit of reservation in the sense that they know that a lot of us have the attention span of earthworms, that we'll be outraged about something and just give it a couple weeks and then we'll just forget about it. And I'm hoping that it's not going to happen with this, because this is too far. This is insulting. It just is. If they would have had a woman acting like this, I still would have been like, unless that was her character, like maybe a famous person.
Show,
yeah,
that's
how they're supposed to act. Cool.
Well, any other scenario, this would have been offensive to women.
You're right.
If it would have been any other person, if it was an actual woman,
right,
biologically female, they would have been like, this is like oppressive. This is oppressive for you to put this commercial out, Bud Light.
And we're not allowed to say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not supposed to.
There's a funny Family Guy clip where it's a trans person sitting at the bar and she's watching porn at the bar, and the waiter goes, hey, you're not allowed to watch porn here. Oh, it's okay, I'm trans. He goes, oh, okay, do whatever you want all the time.
I think I've seen that.
And it's so true.
It's so true.
It is. It's like, oh, is there kids around too? Yeah, flash them your balls. That's fine too. Because apparently it is.
And then they doubled down. Jeff, can you bring this up where Budweiser, it's a Fox News article where Budweiser basically doubles down that when there was outrage, they just doubled down. Bud Light says pact with trans activist Dylan Mulvaney helps authentically connect with audiences. So that was their response, was that it helps authentically, this whole authentic thing, I just can't stand the misuse of that word, but that was their reaction to the outrage. So
I want to show you guys this video from Dylan from before he was whatever he is now. And this will make more sense of him as a person, I think.
Guess what? You get a second chance in this game first.
No way. Oh my God! Oh my God, I'm still in it!
It's pretty fancy. It is. Yes! You got it! Dylan's a winner! Dylan's a winner! Dylan, nice job, man. Look at that. We're going to spin the wheel right after this. Don't go away, folks.
Okay.
we actually have to stop it because
He
this goes
kept
on
going. He just kept going. Now, like
the attention.
It's almost like that guy was like, is there an opportunity for me to get everyone's attention? Please?
Apparently,
What was that show? There was a show or a movie somewhere where it was like this person, it was a bunch of doctors learning. It was a psychotherapist. I think it was Robin Williams, maybe it was Patch Adams.
Oh.
When they were touring the mental institute or something like that. Anyway, There's some movie where they're like touring a mental institute, and there's this one girl that will do whatever it takes to get people's attention. So she's like, no, she only has this big of a window because she's like restrained kind of or whatever. And she's not allowed to like engage with people because she like does crazy shit. And so the doctors like look in, she sees one looking in, she poops in her hand and she starts eating her poop just so they'll keep paying attention to her.
It's definitely not Patch Adams, but okay.
It's probably not Patch Adams. But either way, it's like when I think of Dylan, that's what it seemed like a little bit.
Well, I think
not quite that, but you get what I'm saying.
Right. I think Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh had mentioned this, and I have seen old clips of Dylan before the transition and everything, and there has been old videos of him trying to be in Hollywood or in bands or just try to get famous somehow. And I think this was...
He landed it.
Exactly. And I think they might be right. Was it you and I talking earlier? We were talking about, is there a possibility that maybe he's not taking any of
the hormone blockers or the puberty testosterone or the estrogens? Yeah.
Right.
Because they just got in trouble. The doctors or the pharmaceutical CEOs in Europe, there was a couple that apparently got in trouble for falsifying their vaccination records. They were never vaccinated with their own vaccines. Just like me and you probably think a lot of the leaders were injected with saline. I imagine that
same thing.
That just to deceive the population so they go do dumb stuff themselves. I definitely would see Dylan doing something like that. Like
there was a video recently, because he's just such a victim that he was wearing a Burberry one-piece bathing suit and he was in doing I think a tour in Iceland and Denmark and, but poor thing, he's living at the Plaza Hotel, but, he's a victim. The hormones soften you. The hormones get rid of that male rigidness, and they also give a little bit of fat in certain places like the chest and the hips and everything. I don't know, but I didn't pay attention. It just was something to think about. I don't know.
I'm not seeing it much on him.
I have questions, I have doubts, but I don't know. It's really starting to, given that clip and seeing he acts the exact same way, which is what he thinks a woman acts like, and I guess it's working because America thinks women act like that. I don't know, but that's apparently just how he is, and whatever it is to get attention, that's what he's gonna do.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, he got to meet with the president. We're talking about laws that change our lives and stuff like that. What qualifies him? Yeah,
besides the fact that he's the most well-known trans person at the moment. We'll catch up with him in 15 years like all the other ones that are like, yeah, I'm actually not trans anymore.
Yeah. Saw the Navy SEAL one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so Trump. Normal shit. Trump. Trump was indicted today, apparently. Pull this video up of the New York area. I need to pop something. Do you hear the whistles? Yeah, the whistles are going because they were paid to show up and to bring noise. There was an ad that was put out on the text alert from somebody that Marjorie Taylor Greene showed us who it was. It's like one of her opponents was like, we need everybody who can show up there to use noise as much as possible to destroy her ability to make any comments or whatever.
Isn't it funny how their side does that for our stuff, but we don't?
We just leave them alone. We don't care unless they're going after kids, in which case we try to disrupt that. I remember the Patriot Front people, which I'm not a fan of, and I think they're filled with FBI people. But either way, they went to go break up a drag show that was happening for kids. And at that same drag show is the drag show where the dudes ding dong flopped out in front of all the kids. So it was like they
Lord.
like the Patriot Front, who I'm not a fan of, was attempting to stop this drag show where all of the children were exposed to a penis. So yeah, even if they are feds, it seems like a good idea that they should have stopped that thing, and then less kids would have seen a random man's penis. But anyway, I want to show this video of Trump walking in like a
let's
G.
get back. President Trump, will you come speak to us, President Trump?
Yeah, I think it's about to be warpath mode. Not physically, but just like he's going to go all out hard. I don't know when he's going to start campaigning for real again.
I mean, this is a huge boost to his campaign, really,
Huge.
because huge. How does he say it? Because it really shows the independence and the people who, you know, don't stick to one side. They just want a good leader. It's really showing them that, oh, they really are weaponizing the Department of Justice and the police.
Yeah, against the primary political opponent.
Right.
That's crazy.
I mean, it is what it is. It is true, and that will push people because we want to go against what we think the establishment is doing. That will push more people to vote for him. Like, oh, you're going to do that? Well, that solidified my vote.
Yeah.
That's why I think he gleefully went from Mar-a-Lago to New York to be able to have that perp walk, I guess you could call it, to show like, look what they're trying to do to me. And what is he being charged for? I still don't know.
Pull this up. Pull up the CNN video, because they aren't saying what it's being charged for, and nobody knows.
President, and do the legal team, the unsealing of the document, do you support that? Does he support that?
Yes, I mean, I think it will happen no matter what. I would like to see what the basis is for this. Let's remember that the real crime here that we have is that DA Bragg did leak that there were 30 to 34 counts. We already know that. That in itself is a felony. You are not to let that go. So at this point, I mean, and I like everybody
we
in this
don't
country
know
to be treated the same no matter who you are.
We don't know if the DA leaked that information. That is speculation.
Well, we don't have that information, so... Well, it's not speculation. We don't have the information. So it came from their office.
Yeah, there's no other way. It could have come anywhere.
Really? Look how Don Lemon tried to go in there.
That's just
we don't know
speculation.
that. Like, still, I mean, your ratings are in the tank.
Yeah,
Nobody
it doesn't
wants
matter.
your show. They took him off primetime, and you're still caping for whoever it is he's caping for. Unbelievable.
Yeah, well, so essentially they're trying to say that they think that he used campaign funds to pay Stormy Daniels, which, by the way, Stormy Daniels today, it was settled that she has to pay $121,000 to Trump for all this bullshit. So anyway.
Isn't that ironic, though? He's getting indicted for something to do with it, and then she's having to pay him because it wasn't true. Like, all this stuff is not true.
That's right.
This is weird to me. Like, okay, wait a minute. He's getting the settlement. It already happened. And then, you know, I guess today she had to pay or whatever. I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the point of all this. You know, some people are just like, all they see is the perp walk, and they're just like, we knew it. And it's like, they don't even know
That's all
what
they
they knew.
want.
And like, what did you think it was? You think it's a good idea that the Department of Justice is like, that this is happening? Like, you think that's wise?
Right.
Well,
imagine if they do it to your political.
Well, if Trump gets in, it's over.
What
Like,
do you think?
Are you kidding? Clinton, Biden, all of them.
There's too many people. He's only one person. There's
I
too
know,
many people.
but he said he's
embedded
gonna get
in
rid.
our government.
I know. I'm with you. I agree. It's unlikely.
I don't think so. Yeah.
But if they don't, we're toast in 10 years anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm just, I guess, being optimistic. Speaking of which, the Chinese balloon was not a weather balloon. It's
oh my
official.
God, no way!
Just like we said, it's definitely not a weather balloon, because the Chinese said, if you pull up that thing, Jeff, yeah, this is back in the day, right when it first came out, China was like, yeah, it's our balloon. And then scroll down a little bit.
It is a civilian airship used for research, mainly meteorological purposes. A Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson confirmed Friday. This was back February 1st. Affected by the westerlies and with limited self-steering capability, the airship deviated far from its planned course.
Oh, so they said it's a weather balloon, and Biden obviously told us it was a weather balloon. So what did it turn out to be? Pull this other one up.
Chinese spy balloon gathered intelligence from sensitive U.S. military sites, despite U.S. efforts to block it. Now, That
That
part,
is some BS.
stop it, NBC.
Despite
Stop
U.S.
it.
efforts to block it. What
Give me
efforts?
a
They knew
effing
about it
break.
when it was in Alaska, and they didn't do anything to it.
They waited till the local people in Montana were like, "Hey, what's that?" No, they weren't gonna say dick. Oh God.
I'm ready. Say it again.
They weren't gonna say dick. They weren't gonna say anything about it.
I thought you were going to go for it again.
They weren't gonna say anything about it. They were just gonna let that thing fly. They knew, remember, they said that they knew when it was off the coast of Alaska and left it. And then Montana people started going, "Hey, what's that?" And then the local, and then it snowballed from there. They had no intention.
Right, the citizens had to be like, this doesn't seem right, shoot it down. And then they were like, wait till it's done collecting. Are you guys done yet? And they're like, no. And they're like, okay, now? And they're like, yes. And they're like, oh, we better shoot it. And then they shot it down. And then China had the gall to be like, make sure you return our stuff to us at least since you shot it down. Bro. Meanwhile, the freaking US dollar is doggone gone, basically. Like Russia, Brazil, India, Mexico now is looking like they're going to join this completely different currency system. The US dollars, dude, you can't tell me this stuff would have happened underneath of Trump. You can't tell me that it would. If he would have been like, no way to any of this, I'll cut off your this, I'll cut off your that. We were a primary exporter of oil for a time. Crazyville,
I think you're
man.
right. I think you're right.
So there's all that. And then we have this breaking news from O'Keefe Media Group, which I'm stoked for James O'Keefe because he's done a really good job at trying to keep up the energy. And his citizen journalist thing that he did where he basically is dispatching everybody to become citizen journalist is awesome. But I want to show you guys one of the first things that they've uncovered as O'Keefe Media Group, and it is crazy. ActBlue is a political campaign recipient / generator for the Democrats. Well, there's people like Nancy Miller or whatever their name would be who have given to ActBlue, but then there's like thousands of records per year of this Nancy person giving to ActBlue. And when they go and interview this Nancy person, I'm making the name up, she'll be like, oh, no, I gave like 3 times or something. So they're funneling money in somehow by using fake names.
James O'Keefe, OMG here. We have our latest citizen journalist showing another example of unclaimed contributions through ActBlue. An inquisitive detective with bright line investigations for Election Watch brought us the latest unwitting contributor. This time for Richard Schallert of Winnacone, Wisconsin. Let's hear what he has to say.
I've been hired by an Election Watch company, and they noticed that your name was on a Federal Elections Commission that's donated several $1,000s. In the last 7 years, you've apparently donated 8,333 times to elections.
Wow, that many? I know I did donate a lot. That seems a little high.
Yeah.
That seems too high. Maybe 800.
Okay.
But not 8,000. No, there must be an error there.
As we were producing this piece, we received additional footage from citizen journalist Kyle Corrigan out in the field. Here's what Wisconsin residents Sidney Grossberg and Dale Wing had to say when asked about their alleged contributions.
Because in the last 7 years, it said that you've donated 10,989 times.
Over how many years?
7 years. So it comes out to about 4 times a day that you're donating.
Wow.
That's what we thought too. You're one of the highest.
To my knowledge, I don't think that I gave that kind of information concerning my credit card.
Right, but 10,000 times, I'm reasonably certain that you would have seen some sort of charges on there that you thought, you know, this looks odd. Federal Election Commission, you made 4,085 donations in the last 7 years. Do you know if that's is it accurate?
That doesn't sound accurate. 4,000.
Yeah, so 4,000, not just $4,000, but 4,085 donations. So that's about almost 2 a day, I guess, in the last 7 years. So,
No,
okay.
that doesn't sound right.
So that's one. Look at the other one, though. This lady that comes out.
Hello? Hey there, Cindy. My name's James O'Keefe, and we're doing a story on the number of people that have donated with your address. Did you donate to ActBlue, a political cause? How many times a month do you donate to ActBlue?
I don't know. I don't know how many times. I don't understand why I'm getting this.
Well, the question is, You did donate to ActBlue, right?
Yes, once in a while, yes.
Did you donate 1,009 times?
I don't know. I mean, I may once in a while I donate $5 or so dollars or something like that during election year.
What about $18,850?
I doubt that.
Not that many donations.
No, I don't think so.
What the Federal Election Commission indicates that much money was donated to ActBlue and Biden for president.
I wish I could have donated $18,000 to Biden's presidency.
How much did you donate?
I don't know. I don't
Order
know.
of magnitude.
I like I said, I donate $5 once in a while to because I have various charities I like to give to.
Do you know people are using your address?
I don't think so.
Have you donated to ActBlue in the past?
I don't believe so.
You're listed as someone who's given over 31,000 individual contributions to various causes for a total of $230,000 to $30,000 using your name in this address.
No, that's not us.
That's not you?
Nope.
Have you ever donated to ActBlue? Or
I think my wife has, but nowhere near.
Are you aware that people are using your name?
No.
Have you donated to ActBlue in the past?
Isn't that crazy, man?
They've been laundering
somehow
through legitimate people, so
right.
it looks legitimate.
So it looks legit. Yeah.
Wow.
So they're taking one person and then they're like, oh, and then they're just doing it again for that one person and putting a different bank behind it or something. I don't know what.
Probably, yeah. It doesn't matter. It's registered under someone else's name and address, so who cares, right?
Right. Now this is all allegedly, obviously, but the people themselves are saying that doesn't seem even close to accurate, and you would know if you gave $18,000 to a company, dude.
I think I said 200 and something thousand.
Yeah, that was 230 something thousand. That's
insane.
crazy.
That's an insane amount of money that obviously you would notice, and I'm pretty sure they're all going and checking their bank accounts, but I don't think it's that nefarious, although I wouldn't doubt it if they would try something like that, but that's what they're doing. They're cleaning the money by saying, oh no, look, that guy Roger donated, so we'll go ahead and take Roger and just repeat this donation of whatever.
Right. Yeah,
wow.
we'll take Roger's name that was a legitimate source, so it won't be that weird to track it, and then we'll just pull from a different bank 4,000 times per day for $18 or whatever the heck, like that's
wow.
Like, that was nuts, dude. So shout out James O'Keefe, great find. I don't know what's going to come of this, probably nothing. But it's just, the more and more we see, the better it is to know that, we're not crazy.
No. Oh, like my wheels are like turning right now. I'm kind of like shocked. I didn't realize because you told me about it. I hadn't heard it yet. I'm shocked at the amounts.
Yeah.
Those are not insignificant. That's significant. How do you not flag that? 4 times a day? That's what he's saying. He was basically...
Yeah, who donates to a political cause? Dude, if Trump himself texted me, I'd be like, all right, bro, I'll give you some money per week. That would be it, bro. Once every 7 days.
And even that would be like...
Yeah, and even then I'd be like, but whatever I put, you got to match with your own money.
Yeah.
Or something. But anyway, I don't think I ever even donated to Trump. Maybe I bought a red hat. I bought the MAGA hat.
I did. But I mean, I used to have a GOP thing. I used to have a GOP automatically take, and then I used to augment when I'd have a good week or whatever, or a good month, and I used to augment that. I completely cut that off, especially when they didn't reform Section 230 or 240, whichever the one is about the freedom of speech on the internet, censorship. When the freaking Republicans had all 3 branches, and they did nothing.
Yeah, they did nothing.
Had all 3 of them. Did nothing. I said nope, and I told them. They kept trying to send me stuff. I even had to write a nice long letter. I was like, don't take me off your list, and I'm gonna keep sending this letter. And I spelled out everything why I don't want to donate to you guys anymore.
I had a couple union officials come by my house a year ago.
Really?
Yeah, and they were just asking me what my opinion of things were or whatever, and they were both pushing Democrat stuff, but they were union members. So I just started talking about all of the normal stuff that is primarily endorsed by our Democrats, and they agree with me on everything by the end of it. They were like, you're right. You're right. I don't hear the conservatives saying that everybody can be any gender, and I don't want my kids knowing that and thinking that. And
I don't understand how
it's like they're bamboozled. They don't know.
The unions especially, and then they tell their members to vote like that while they're ripping off and leaving their members out to high and dry and just campaigning for their own purposes to just get richer. The people that are union members are the ones that get screwed over.
Right.
And yet they still are voting personally for Democrat and doing whatever the union says. So I don't know. Like I definitely was. I don't know. I don't want to say something mean, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that the funding is coming from outside of the country too. Like, however they're laundering this money, because nobody inside of the country is going to be giving that amount of money unless they get to play a part in the destruction and get a benefit from the destruction. So like Soros and all them that are paying, like Soros is the dude who put millions of Soros paid money into the PAC that paid $1 million into Alvin Bragg's campaign election fund or whatever. The dude that's prosecuting Donald Trump right now for this bullshit in Manhattan. Yeah. So like, what's annoying is that I had to say all that, because if I just said George Soros put $1 million into Alvin Bragg's to help him win, so now that guy's prosecuting Trump, people would be like, that's false information. Okay, let me say it the other way. George Soros gave the money to the PAC, and the PAC gave the money to the campaign, and that's how the guy got money from George Soros.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. I got to say it that way. Yeah. But anyway, crazy times we're living in, sis.
Do you think that it's also recycled money, our tax money?
Oh, probably.
From Ukraine.
Probably.
That's what I think.
Foreign aid.
Did you see that the Australian Parliament walked out while Zelensky was talking?
Yes.
I thought that was awesome.
That was great.
I was like, no,
Austrian.
Austrian. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, not Australian. The Australians would sit around and be like, so you think we should build the fences higher next time so they can't escape so easily?
From the concentration camps.
I can't do a very good Australian accent without hearing it first.
Yeah, no, Australian is.
We need to hear it. There we go. It's a little better.
South African?
South African?
Yeah.
I think they're all kind of the same.
They sound different to me.
Shut up for a second. How about you just shut up for a second? I think they're all the same.
Well, anyway, I definitely am curious to where this money came from, who it came from. It's probably ours, but who knows? I don't know.
I don't know either. So anyway, on a positive note, nobody disagrees with us that there's some crazy shit going on now.
I think a lot of stuff is coming out to light. I think that is positive. The fact we got James O'Keefe on that. Okay, cool. We're finding out stuff. Chinese balloon, and it's on NBC. That's a good step in my opinion. NBC is saying, yep, definitely wasn't a weather balloon, wasn't pushing it, didn't even, sometimes when these liberal news agencies want to avoid it, they just won't talk about it at all. They could have done that. They didn't do that. That's a little bit of silver lining there. I'm kind of looking at that. And the pushback to the Bud Light thing, I think is good. Let's see if it sticks. I hope it sticks. Yeah. We should do some beer
reviews.
Yeah,
I think we should. What's your cheap alternatives, boys?
Right.
Oh yeah, in the
send
comments. The recommendations.
Oh yeah, you should do that on Instagram. Like we should do like voting on what beers we should try. Like just affordable. And,
what's a cheap alternative? Right. I mean, the whole point of Bud Light is that it's cheap and not so bad. What's another cheap and not so bad beer that isn't owned by those same people?
No Natty Light.
Coors Light, I think, is the banquet beer.
Is fine. Yeah. Coors Light.
Montucky Cold Snack is what Mike says.
Oh, what is that?
I don't know. It sounds good, though. Well, all right, Tina.
All right.
Much love, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Get ready for everything. We got a baller episode next week coming. My brain's like just literally shut off in the last 2 minutes. All right. Much love, everybody. Stay the course. Stay true. We'll see you next time, baby. Mwah.